So you touched a moment ago on the growth of online dispute resolution, and the certainly the pandemic has really accelerated the development of technology, but also the adoption and normalization of, jumping onto a call like we're doing now to resolve a matter. Could you say a little bit more about ODR and the change in approach from the physical world to now the virtual world?
Yes, 2020, was a game changer. Of course, we didn't like the lockdown. We don't want COVID to stay. Uh, there are there are challenges everywhere because of the pandemic. But if there is a takeaway, if there is a silver lining, that is how we were able to transform our physical world to a virtual world in actually every space of life, and education and dispute resolution. Two are such major contributors to the space. I think overnight we adopted technology, and it may be easy for you and me, but it wasn't so easy for the judges in India, and I'm sure in many other countries, because they're used to certain systems, certain protocols, certain assistants all the time, and some of them are not tech savvy at all. But I think within a span of 2 months, we saw everybody was able to, do hearings online. Judges were able to read everything online, were able to accept everything online. So why I'm starting with an example of court system is that that was the most difficult for anybody to perceive that this could change overnight. Arbitration mediation space was relatively simpler because it's a private space. So arbitrators are being paid by parties, mediators are being paid by parties, institutions are being paid by parties. So therefore, they will have to perform or perish. There is no other way out. So arbitrators who were slow or who were reluctant realized it the hard way, that if they don't adapt to it, they would be out of business. So I'll come to that. But courts, there was absolutely no way out. If the legal system in India, if the judiciary was not ready, we would have no option but to wait for the pandemic to get over. And now we know that it's not getting over anytime soon. We are back to almost a lockdown sort of a phase in India. All courts have again returned to virtual, and thank God for the learnings from 2020. It's much simpler, much quicker, and we seem to have all the technical know-how. So it has been a tremendous, support to all the practitioners of dispute resolution, because one, we realize it saves a lot of time. Second, we realize it saves a lot of energy and money. It is super efficient, whether you're doing a matter in court, whether you're doing an arbitration, whether you're doing a mediation. Arbitral institutions provided for, their practice notes. ICC released one, CIAC released one, how to do these hearings virtually. Ad hoc arbitrations, in my experience, were a great success online, and I think it is going to stay. Sooner or later, I hope the pandemic will be over, but some of the things that we have learned would stay, which includes doing many of these procedural hearings. There is no need for a physical setup. You don't have to waste your entire day meeting just to chalk out timelines. It could be done in 10-15 minutes. The habits are changing very swiftly, because arbitrators are realizing that, while they used to enjoy the cup of tea at a five-star hotel with some of their favorite snacks, but it is better to stay home and enjoy that cup of tea with your loved ones and do that work in 10 minutes instead of spending half a day. So there has been a cultural shift. Uh, Everybody seems to be happy. All stakeholders seem to be happy, and so on and so forth in mediation as well. Mediation was always possible on an online mode, because arbitration, people thought that there would be an evidentiary hearing. How do you conduct an evidentiary hearing online? But mediation never had any such issues, other than the fact that sometimes, in fact, being in front of a mediator physically could be psychologically better. But other than that, there was no impediment in terms of the procedure of mediation. So I think in India, mediation was the first ADR mechanism to adopt to complete virtual mode very effectively. But ODR has been in existence on paper and in talks since 1990s in India. Everybody wanted ODR to develop for cases, especially like, for example, e-commerce and consumer cases and some IP disputes, etc. ODR could have been a very effective mechanism, to resolve the disputes. But for some reason or the other, those discussions never materialized into practice. But with institutions like Agami, Sama, and so on and so forth, so many institutions in India. I mean, now there are CODR based out of Bangalore. There are arbitral institutions which are now providing complete end-to-end ODR services, whether you're doing arbitration or mediation or conciliation, whichever mechanism you're adopting. So I think in next couple of years, ODR will take over this entire practice of ADR mechanism, because as I said, there is absolutely no downside to it, and there is no downside was a realization that happened when we were forced to move to a virtual platform. So yeah, I think there is great scope through this virtual mechanism.